Today we are going on a 2-day excursion to Khao Sok National Park and Lake Chao Lan. The tour starts as usual. We are picked up from the hotel and take a minivan to start in Phang Nga province. The first day we visit as many as 2 temples. The first stop is near the cave temple of Wat Suan Kuha. The temple is famous for its 15-meter high statue of a reclining Buddha. The cave, which by the way is of natural origin and is the temple with all its attributes. There is really something to see here. Besides the first lower hall, you can climb the steps and see, for example, royal seals on the wall, or go further and make beautiful photos against the background of stalactites and try to see a whole colony of bats on the ceiling of the cave. This temple is sometimes called the Monkey Temple. Of course, monkeys have nothing to do with the temple. Just on the mountain in which the temple is located lives a whole flock of these funny animals. Sometimes they come down for tourists to feed them with bananas or nuts, which can be bought here. After a 40 to 45 minute drive, a temple called Wat Bang Riang was waiting for us. It is located high on a mountain and is quite unusual in shape. It is a temple in the shape of a stupa. At the entrance, we are greeted by 2 guards, the Naga serpents. To walk around the temple, you should take off your shoes and wear appropriate clothing. Shoulders and knees should be covered. There is also a gong at the entrance which can be rubbed, and if it makes the right sound, the locals say karma is good for you. The first room is a small temple with 3 statues of Buddha. There is also an altar and a small statue of the founder of this temple. In the courtyard, we are waiting for the stupa itself, around which there are 66 statues of Buddha with bowls for offerings. And of course, the temple itself is stupa shaped, which is guarded by formidable yakshas. Inside, the temple looks more like a fairy tale castle. The variety of colors and details is simply amazing. It is here in the central part of the temple is the main relic of the temple, a piece of Buddha. However, it is impossible to examine it closely because the limit is closed and there is no entrance. So you have to be satisfied with photos through small windows. On the walls of the temple there are drawings from the life of Buddha, his whole life path from birth to parinirvana. Next to the temple, there is an observation deck from where you can enjoy a magnificent view of the valley and the large statue of the goddess Guan Yin. And we drive on. After an hour's drive, we arrived at LAN Lake. Our journey around the lake had begun. Lake Chao Lan is man-made and it appeared in 1982 by order or at the behest of King Rama IX of Thailand, as firstly a strategic reserve of fresh water and secondly a hydroelectric power station which now powers the province of Surat Thani. It took a whole year to fill such an area with water. We moved around the lake on local catch boats. The travel time to our parking lot is about 50 minutes. Time flew by. The lake is incredibly beautiful. Soon we arrived at our parking lot. Here we will spend the whole second half of the day and tomorrow morning. On arrival, we are accommodated in small houses which stand right on the water. The conditions are quite ordinary. One double bed and a toilet and shower. Lunch was already waiting for us at the local restaurant. For lunch was rice, soup with vegetables and shrimp, omelette with boiled vegetables, masam and boiled potatoes with chicken, boiled vegetables with cheese, watermelon with pineapple for dessert, and tea and coffee. By the way, tea and coffee is available here all the time, completely free of charge. And the next 3 hours we spent swimming, sunbathing, and canoeing on the lake. And closer to sunset, a safari was waiting for us. Our task was quite simple, to ride along the shore and try to see the local forest dwellers. Apparently we were a little lucky because we never saw anything, although the regulars say that they saw monkeys, varans, toucans, and even a small mouse deer. On our way back to our lodges, we suddenly found a couple of wild boars who had come to feast on the local garbage dump. We decided to keep up too, especially as the time was already approaching 7 p.m. and went for dinner. Rice, stewed vegetables, omelette, tomka, coconut milk soup, and watermelon for dessert. Dinner transitioned smoothly into talking until late in the evening. That was the end of our first day. The morning of the second day started with breakfast. Breakfast was tuna sandwiches, scrambled eggs, and tea and coffee. Immediately after breakfast, we set out back to the pier. An hour later we were at the pier, transferred to a minivan and drove to the observation deck, which is literally 5 minutes away here. The LAN Lake Lookout is a small complex with a couple of buildings, beautiful walkways with flowers and a large monument with the name of the lake. From here you have a beautiful view of both the lake itself and the Ratcha Prafa Dam, which is also a hydroelectric dam. Last photos, farewell to LAN Lake, and we drive on. After a 45-minute drive, a local bamboo canoe ride was waiting for us. The ride takes place on the local river, surrounded by real jungle. We don't need to paddle ourselves, of course, local professionals do it for us. We only have to enjoy the beauty and peace and take photos, of course. On the way we stopped to drink tea. The most interesting thing was that the water was boiled according to the ancient Thai tradition in bamboo. We saw with our own eyes how it is actually done. Naturally, the tea was incredibly delicious afterwards. And after that walk we had lunch. For lunch we had rice, tom yum soup, fried chicken fillet with vegetables and fruits, fried chicken, some kind of broth and bananas for dessert. And then after lunch we drive on. True, we did not have to go far. Literally in 5 minutes we stopped near a small cave, or rather a complex, where we bought food for fish. Why? It's simple. On the other side of the mountain there is a river, which has quite a lot of fish, so we went to feed the fish. Quite a fun activity, I must say. The next stop was elephant riding. It takes about half an hour to get to the elephant park. The ride here is along the course of a mountain river. Closer to the rainy season, the river fills with water and elephants walk right on the water. But even now you can see how easily these giants climb up the rocks. The ride is not scary at all. The elephants walk slowly, only swaying slightly from side to side. On the way back, you can ask the driver for permission to sit on the elephant's neck. Get a lot of new sensations. It's awesome. Bananas are sold here so you can feed your elephants after the ride. During the ride, you are photographed, and at the end, who wants can buy his photos in a frame, which is also a souvenir. It is made according to the old Thai tradition from elephant feces. And the last point on our itinerary is the wellness part. We go to the hot springs called Romani. The water here is really hot. It comes out of the ground nearby. The billboard says it even contains a small amount of radon. I don't know how true this is, but there is a slight smell. You can't stay in the pools for a long time, so our recovery took only 15 minutes. Excursion to LAN Lake and Khao Sok Park is not quite traditional for Thailand. Here you will not see snow-white beaches and azure water, but it is not less interesting. The program is very intense and the lake itself is simply unimaginably beautiful. By the way, it should be noted that this is not the only 2-day program with a trip to Khao Sok and Lake Cheo Lan. There is another one, and both of these programs are quite different, so the choice is yours. And we will see you on the next excursion.